Hello and welcome to this Astranti YouTube video taking a look at the qualifications required to become a licensed conveyancer. This is the final part in our video series on becoming a licensed conveyancer, and it's going to look specifically at the qualifications, alternative qualifications, and how you can find the right course for you to ensure that you pass your exams, to ensure that you qualify as a licensed conveyancer in a manner that fits around your life and also as quickly as possible. So as we have discussed in this previous video series, and previous videos in this video series, and if you want to see those, then please do like and subscribe or visit our website www.astranti.com for more information. We spoke about the qualifications. Now, the qualifications that you need to become a member of the Council for Licensed Conveyancers is the Level 4 Diploma in Conveyancing Law and Practice and the Level 6 Diploma in Conveyancing Law and Practice. Now, there are other qualifications you can undertake that will allow you to pursue a career in conveyancing. There are also other qualifications you can undertake that will allow you to create your license from the Council of Licensed Conveyancers. But the reason why we've selected these two is because these are the ones that are provided by the Council of Licensed Conveyancers themselves. So it's the most appropriate qualification because it's the one that is actually provided by the membership regulatory body. And of course, to act as a licensed conveyancer, it's best to have that official license from the professional regulatory body, which is recognized by the legal industry. So what will you essentially learn on your Level 4 and Level 6 diplomas? Well, the short answer is you'll learn how to become a licensed conveyancer. You'll learn everything that you need to become a licensed conveyancer, everything you'll need to apply it into the workplace. That's one of the great things about the Level 4 and Level 6 Conveyancing Law and Practice diplomas is that they are not general academic qualifications. They are very practical, very vocational. They're very geared up to people, to provide people with the information they need to actually work as conveyancers. So it will cover a huge range of subjects, everything that's to do with conveyancing. So financial considerations and accounting, the conveyancing laws, contract laws, tenancy laws, landlord law, land law in general, etc. Everything that is specific to the actual role. You won't be just learning things for the sake of learning because the provider needs to make a certain amount of credits in order to award you with this qualification, and how some qualifications sometimes work. Everything is specific to what you're actually going to be doing in the job. And whether you are doing it as a private learner, whether you're doing it through a qualification that's been purchased by your employer, or whether you're doing it through an apprenticeship, you will cover the same content. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, one of the great reasons to train to be a conveyancer using the CLC diplomas is the time it takes for you to qualify. Now, if you want to qualify as a solicitor, it can take up to 6-7 years. If you want to qualify as a Silex lawyer through the Chartered Institute of Legal Executives, it can take 3, 4, 5 years. Whereas with the Council for Licensed Conveyancers diploma, even including the 1,200 hours minimum practical experience, provided you are working in a job that is granting you that experience while you are studying, you can in theory qualify in 2 years. So you can be qualified, start earning, start gaining further experience as a qualified professional within 2 years. So that's one of the great advantages of studying to be a conveyancer using the Council for Licensed Conveyancing courses. But as I mentioned, there is a requirement to have a certain degree of practical experience, and that of course makes sense because it's a practical role. They want to teach you to be a decent licensed conveyancer, not just teach you the theory about conveyancing. So you have to gain at least 1,200 hours of practical experience, but actually, whilst that may sound like a lot, it really isn't, particularly if you are working in a role. If you're working 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, you'll need 2,000 hours in a year. So it's not as difficult as it sounds. And if you are worried about the job that you're currently doing, whether it's currently meeting those standards, you can check out this handy list here. There is going to be a, you'll see on the links below, a copy of this actual presentation. You'll be able to activate that link that I've got highlighted here. And that will take you through to a list of jobs that count as practical experience defined by the Council and Society of Licensed Conveyancers. So if you're unsure, check out that list. It will also give you information about jobs, open opportunities as well. So if you are looking to apply for a role as a trainee conveyancer, you'll be able to find one on that site as well. Another advantage of training to become a conveyancer using the level 4 and level 6 diplomas is that whilst it is not free, it is significantly cheaper than qualifying as a solicitor. So you can see here the average cost across the different providers of the level 4 diploma in conveyancing law and practice is around £4,000 for the course. And for the level 6, which is a slightly smaller course, is £3,000. Add those together, and the average cost of qualifying as a licensed conveyancer is £7,000. Now, when you consider how much it can cost to qualify as a solicitor, upwards of £40,000 to £50,000, that's a significant saving. And the amount that a solicitor, an experienced solicitor, can expect to earn is barely any higher than an experienced licensed conveyancer. Unless they are, of course, working in major corporate law firms in London, but there's only a very small portion of qualified solicitors that work in those roles. So when you consider that, you consider that it's going to cost you 5 times as much, consider that it's going to cost you 3 or 4 times as many years to qualify, and not actually earn much more as a result of it, it makes qualifying as a licensed conveyancer all the more appealing. Particularly when your employer may actually pay for your training costs. Whereas with a solicitor, yes, a law firm may pay, for example, the SQEs, but they're not going to pay for your law degree, which is about £27,000. They're not going to pay for your conversion course, which is about £10,000. But all qualifications needed to become a licensed conveyancer may be funded directly by your employer. Now, there is no set percentage that they might choose. There is no requirement for them to actually pay for it. So it will need to be decided between you, agreements between yourself and your employer. But there are lots of employers that do pay for the training. So that £7,000 becomes significantly less if the employer is going to pay for part of it, or if the employer is going to reimburse you for part of it once you are qualified, because it's in their interest as well to get you qualified, because you're more valuable as an employee once you are qualified as a licensed conveyancer. And you can even qualify at no cost to yourself or your employer by qualifying through an apprenticeship. So an apprenticeship is where you will essentially be qualifying, gaining experience over a 2-3 year period, going through your exams and your endpoint assessment, all in a sense on the government's dime, because the government pays for the apprenticeship. So it's at no cost to both yourself or the employer. And if you want to find an apprenticeship provider for this particular course, there are 2 apprenticeships. There's the licensed conveyancer apprenticeship, and there's the conveyancing technician apprenticeship. The licensed conveyancer essentially takes you through level 6, plus the extra practical experience required for an apprenticeship. And the licensed conveyancer takes you through the level 4 with the extra practical experience. Now, if you want to go down that route, you need to undertake the conveyancing technician apprenticeship first, and then go on to the licensed conveyancer apprenticeship. So it's essentially doing level 4 and then level 6 as you would with the usual qualification. But there are several of excellent apprenticeship providers for those courses, and you can find those on the government's website. So again, check the link below for the paper copy of this presentation and access that link, or visit it through our website www.astranti.com. Now, of course, there are alternatives to qualifying in conveyancing. You may want to perhaps become a licensed conveyancer, but you're not quite sure whether you want to limit yourself at this point, or if you're already undertaking other qualifications and wanting to know whether you can convert into becoming a conveyancer. There are alternatives. The most obvious one is, of course, qualifying as a solicitor, and that will give you the right to practice many forms of law, one of which is conveyancing law. So you can then specialize as a conveyancing solicitor once qualified. You can also specialize in conveyancing as a legal executive, particularly with the new SILEX CPQ qualification, which grants the same rights of audience as a solicitor, but does require you to specialize at a certain point in your studies. So, for example, you could undertake the first and second levels of the SILEX CPQ course, that is the Foundation and Advanced, and then specialize in the conveyancing pathway for your final level, your professional level, which is also a course that we provide, so you can check that out on the Astranti website. And if you have decided to become a licensed conveyancer, that's a career path you would like to pursue, and whether that's through the CLC, whether that is through the SILEX course, you need to make sure to find the right course for you. Because there are a lot of courses out there that may perhaps promise certain things that they cannot actually provide, and you don't want to be wasting your money, because whilst it is a lot cheaper to train as a licensed conveyancer versus a solicitor or versus a licensed legal executive, there are still costs involved, particularly if your employer is not going to pay for it, or it's going to be, of course, a cost to your employer. So what you need to do is make sure you're choosing the right provider that is going to give you the right level of experience, the right level of knowledge, and is also going to actually allow you to have passed the official CLC exams, because those, of course, are the ones that you're going to need to demonstrate to the Council of Licensed Conveyancers that you are eligible for your license. So the first thing that I would suggest you do is check out the Council of Licensed Conveyancers website, because A, you'll find out more information about becoming a licensed conveyancer on that site, but also you will get the list of approved providers. So this is not just anyone that's offering the courses. These are the ones that have been approved by CLC. You can't just get onto that list. You have to apply, you have to go through the acceptance standards, you have to be audited by the Council of Licensed Conveyancers, etc., to ensure that you are meeting the relevant standards to be able to offer official CLC approved courses. So make sure you check out that site, because there's a far higher level of security, a far higher level of credibility for any provider that is listed on that site, because they have been personally approved by the Council of Licensed Conveyancers. Once you've done that, you want to find an organization that's great at breaking the topics down. Legal terms can be very difficult, lots of Latin terms, etc., and often it looks far more complicated than it actually is as a result of that. So you want a provider that's going to break down those topics into nice, easily manageable chunks. You want to pick a provider that's going to work around your schedule. You want to pick a provider that is going to test you regularly on your knowledge to ensure you're ready to sit the exams. And finally, look for a provider where the tutors have both experience as being tutors, but have experience working within the industry. Because an expert that has actually worked as a conveyancer is going to be able to bring the subjects to life a lot more, because they're going to be able to demonstrate how this actually works in practice, and is also going to be able to use their own knowledge and experience of working as a conveyancer to help contextualize the information for you. Rather than just giving you the textbook knowledge, they can say, right, this is the textbook knowledge, but here's an example of exactly how this works in a conveyancing firm when you are dealing with a client. Because that helps give you the realistic, practical advice, helping you to take what you are learning and put it into action. So those are my 3 tips for finding the right CLC provider for you that is going to give you the information, give you the knowledge to pass your exams and apply it in the workplace to ensure that you can gain your license as a licensed conveyancer from the Council of Licensed Conveyancers. So thank you very much for watching this video series. I hope it has provided you with the information that you were perhaps looking for about how to become a licensed conveyancer and whether or not it's a career path for you. If you do want more information on that, you have extra questions you want to ask, by all means, visit the website, drop them in the forum, or give us a call on our phone number there or on the chat function on our website, or write a message below on the YouTube video. We'd be happy to answer it, happy to answer any questions that you may have. And if you have decided to undertake or to pursue a career as a licensed conveyancer, then I wish you the best of luck in doing that and hope that you find the right provider, you find the right profession, you pass your exams, and you become a successful licensed conveyancer. So thank you very much for watching. Again, please do like and subscribe and visit our website. It's really helpful for us to put out more content like this. And if you do have any other questions, we'd love to hear from you. So thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.